Hello and welcome back to Bosco's Toy Box, where I'm back with more toy collectibles. And this here in front of you is probably one of my most beloved toy lines, which is the Fisher-Price Adventure People toys. And I've been slowly trying to find stuff or like toy rescues or even buying stuff on eBay, slowly trying to complete each collection of the Fisher-Price Adventure People toy line. And in front of you here is the TV news crew playset. And this is something that I've had for maybe close to a year already. And so stuff that I've had in my collection already was the newsman, or chief, whatever you want to call him. And then the reporter girl, who is always really hard to find with her skirt intact and a little microphone, little, I don't even know what you want to call it here. It's like a microphone pack is what I actually wanted to call it. So that's actually one of the hardest pieces to find, is this microphone pack. And people will pay ridiculous, or actually I shouldn't say pay, but they actually charge ridiculous amounts on eBay for like 20-30 bucks just for the little microphone pack. And then in front of you is the blue news van, which is really cool, and I'll show that off really quick. So again, this is the blue version, and it's actually in really good condition. The TV logo here is actually pretty much intact. And then even the decal sticker on the inside is really good. It's not scratched or peeling off. Okay. And then it has a cargo bay right there, which actually I just realized I need to clean this up a little bit on the inside. So a really awesome toy, and a lot of my friends in the Collector's Talk Dungeon talk about and collect Fisher-Price Adventure People, and one person that I always talk about Fisher-Price Adventure People with is T-Biz, and he's a big collector, and actually he loves taking Fisher-Price Adventure People. I think we call it travel agency photos, where we take them out in the wild or wherever we're going to some other places, to take their picture out on adventures. So the other day, and I'm going to remove this from the camera line here. The other day, or actually a couple days ago, I bought on eBay another Fisher-Price Adventure People TV News Crew set, which actually furthers complete my collection. And I'm sure it will show up kind of decently on camera here, but this is a green version of the news van. And what I'll do is so as you can see here, the one that I just had, the blue. So as you can see, it's quite a difference in color here, blue and green. Even though that the side door has a bit of a bluish green to it, which it's going to be a little hard to pick up on camera. This auction lot that I bought was for $18.50, and it has other pieces with it that I'll show you. But just to briefly show you that it does have the decal. It is a little worn, but mainly intact. Okay. There was some sticker. You might be able to see that there's some of this weird tape, and I'm not sure what kind of tape it was, but it always leaves this sticky, really hard to get off residue. And I'm trying Goo Gone, and I've been actually getting a lot of it off, and it's actually hard to get off of this door here. But there was some here, and actually some here on the side, and actually some here next to where it says Fisher-Price. but I've been actually doing a real good job with Goo Gone and rubbing alcohol. So another van that goes in my collection, which I'm really happy to have. And then also part of the auction lot that I did not have is the TV camera, which is actually goes for, like, I don't know what they charge, $20-$30 on eBay just for this little piece here. And if you watch the old vintage commercial, this little top of it pops up, and then on the inside you can actually kind of see, it's actually, they say a real working camera, but I mean that's not actually the case. It's just actually a mirror that you look down inside of, and then you can see what is in front of you, and it's really hard to pick up on the TV screen. But another really nice piece to have. And actually another thing that it does is that it rises up, so you can put an action figure, and it's kind of, I'm not sure exactly how they're supposed to be positioned, but it kind of looks like that there's a place for them to kind of lay back inside of this little cradle part, and then he can kind of work the TV camera. Or I've seen them where they, let's see, they kind of stand them up on this little platform here, which it really doesn't work out too well because of this black, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't have it on camera, that this little black piece is in the way because they have them standing up like this. But it is supposed to be an accessory that they're supposed to use with one of the action figures, but I actually kind of like it like that. So he's actually kind of looking down into the little piece of the camera. So if he actually stands, let's see, there we go. Okay, so that's how I like to have him displayed on my shelf. Okay, so that was actually a really cool piece to have with this auction. And then with the auction, I also got the cameraman, which I did not have. So that was really cool. And then you can barely see the TV logo that's like on the mobile unit there on the back of his work uniform, his jersey. And he's in pretty good condition. Not a lot of paint loss. A little bit of gray paint loss on the headphone part up there. That's in gray. Other than that, pretty good condition. And then I also got a second newsman, and this is actually going to T-Biz, because T-Biz, excuse me, did not have the newsman yet. So that will be going into his collection, and we'll be sending this off to him very soon. And then another piece that is, I don't want to say if it's extremely hard to find, but it is really hard to find, is this little piece that is a camera. I'll show you both sides of the camera. So it's like this camera that goes on their shoulder, and they hold it with the little peg. And then this is supposed to be like a camera pack, like a battery camera pack. So when the camera guy puts it inside of his hand on the with the peg, okay, so it goes over his shoulder, and then it's like a little mobile unit that he can go out on the street and with the news reporter. So when she's covering a news breaking story, he's there filming the live news footage. Okay, and then this little peg piece, or actually socket right there, actually goes to these it's almost like shoelaces. They're like cords that actually attach to here into the side of the mobile unit, which I will show you. So there's actually those three little pegs there, or there's three pegs here. And the shoelaces are probably, like, again, really hard to find. And if you are getting them on eBay, they are going to charge you just like $20 or $30 just for those little shoelace cords. And then the last piece that was with the auction that I did not have is the scaffolding. And actually, I'll show it to you horizontally because I already put this together. And it does all not so much snap into place, you just kind of push it down into the pegs. So it is kind of sturdy, but it's the scaffolding that you can actually, and here's what I'll do is I'll actually take it apart. So the top part has this hole at the top, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put the TV camera on the top. Is where a lot of ways I've seen it on when I do a Google image search. Or actually, the other thing is there's these holes at the top of the mobile unit, and you are actually supposed to have it so, and I'll put my camera up like that so you can see. So you can have the camera on top of the news van. So like, there's just different ways to play with this news van and the scaffolding. So that, I think I showed you everything. So that's actually not too bad with for charging $18.50 for the green version of the news van, for the camera guide, the camera pack, a second newsman, and the camera. I thought it was actually a really good deal. And so that only leaves the shoelaces, the shoelace cords that I need to complete the set. And it's just a very welcomed addition into my collection. And it's just probably one of the best toy lines, and I always keep saying that, and I know T-Biz says it, and some of my friends in the Collector's Dungeon always talk about how great Fisher-Price Adventure People toys are, or just in general how vintage Fisher-Price toys are in general. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a really quick look to show you what I got off of eBay, and like I always say, keep playing with those toys.